Hello folks, E4C here today, and we're going to be working on the Mustang today. Sold the Nitro, got a 2008 Mustang, same year as the Nitro. Been a lot of fun. It's a 5-speed manual. Right now there's a few things that need fixed on it. At the moment, today we're going to be taking out the door panels, the vinyl's coming off of them, and then we're going to use this headliner adhesive to put it back on. So at the moment, let's go out and get in the car, and I also have trim panel removal tools. So let's go get the car. So here we are in the Mustang. Interior. Normally for the previous videos I normally do a voiceover over the videos. Today I'm just gonna use the camera's mic. We'll see how it goes. I might get a different microphone later on so it sounds a little better. Let me go ahead and show you the trim panels and what's wrong with them really quick. So as you can see, the vinyl on here is coming apart pretty bad. All that's just coming up off the plastic. It just needs to be re-adhered onto this fiber right here. Same if we look on the other side here, it's peeling there and down there a little bit. So we'll get these trim panels off and try and get that fixed up real quick. Alrighty, so we have our trim panel removal kit here. Quite a few things in here. Just gonna slip that back in there. So first thing we need to do, we need to come over here and get this piece popped out. So let's go ahead and get the door open. And I will grab this tool right here. Just use this side of it and gently get behind the plastic trim piece here. And just pop it out like that. Grab it from the other side and pop it out right like that. And then we have a connector here we need to take out. So just get in there, pop that out. I just locked the car. That's what that piece looks like. That's what controls your mirror location of it. Next, we need to get this piece down here popped out. There we go. Apparently the vinyl has gotten caught on the trim piece here, so we'll just have to lift the vinyl over that. There we go. Next, we just need to remove this little insert right here. It's behind the door handle. And at the moment I'm using a pick because I didn't have small enough trim removal kits to get in here. There we go. Then we can go back down here and pop this panel off right here for the window switches. Just pry it out a little bit first, just like that. And we'll just take a metal pry stick, or well, this one's more for plastic clips, but it'll work for what we need. I'll disconnect this piece right here for the window switch. All right, and that's out. All right, so far we've got all these panels off that we need. Now come around here, get ourselves the right Torx bit to go into to take out these screws. So I need a smaller one, and it is snowing at the moment. Makes it really pretty out. Ready? There's one. Go ahead and close that. Go ahead and get this one out. Alrighty, there's two. Alright, so now we have a 7mm socket here. Let's go ahead and get these two bolts out on this side. Down here at the bottom. So there were two on the side of the door, and it looks like there's about three on the bottom of the door. Didn't realize it, there's another one I missed under the speaker. So get that one out. Got two more close to the door, or on the other side of the door now. Sorry about the light, it might be a little buggy on the screen from doing this at night, so had to use an LED. This last one's kind of hard to see, but it's actually in here. I'm going to remove the vinyl just a little bit so it's a little easier to see here. It's still probably going to be hard for you guys to see, but if I feel around for, yeah, it's right here actually. So I kind of need to go under this piece of plastic here. You can kind of see where the screwdriver is going. But it's in there. I just need to take that last one out here. Make sure it doesn't drop down like that. Alrighty, and with all of that removed, hopefully we're able to go ahead and just pull this off here. I'm actually going to go ahead and remove that trim piece right there. That just pops right off. Go ahead and lift it up and out. You can see it's loose. Give one more firm tug, and there it goes. Now we have some things to disconnect here. So first, let's get our lock and unlock disconnected there. We need to get this cable out. Alrighty, to get this out, you have to turn it. You have to turn this part of the cable, and there's like a little interlock that has to be pressed in with needle nose pliers. You can pull this out, pull it straight out from this little notch right there, and it comes out just like that. Finally, after all that is done, we have one more, we have one speaker wire to disconnect over here. And just like that, our door panel is able to be removed. Alright, now we got our door panel off. So let's go ahead and get it set up on the tool bench. Alright, so we got this on the workbench now, and I'm just going to go ahead and gently try and peel this up the rest of the way off the outside edge. That way we can come in and just tighten everything back down and re-glue everything. Alright, the outside edge is taken out. This part of it, this edge right here, a lot of it is tucked underneath this plastic and we can't take this plastic off. It's melted onto the back of the door panel. I'll show you what I mean here real quick. The armrest on the other side of the door, on the other side of the door panel, is this part of plastic right here. And these pieces are pushed through the back and then melted and then spread apart almost like a rivet. So we'd have to cut this or melt this to pull the other piece off, and then we'd probably have to replace either these parts or we'd actually have to replace that piece. So for the most part, I'm just going to be taking this plastic right here and just stretching it tight to the outer edge around here. So I'm going to go around the edges now and apply some masking tape to the plastic, and then probably put like a plastic bag on top of the rest of this to keep any overspray from getting on this plastic. Now we need to go around and put masking tape down in the crevice where the vinyl gets tucked down into here. Alright, so I got all this masked off. I just went around the edges and kind of pushed it in to make sure it sits where I need it to. I'm just going to take and mark here real quick where to start so that I can hopefully peel it all up and mostly one motion. Okay, now we need to do the same thing to this. Try and get this masked off so that it doesn't get any overspray or any spray at all on it. To do that, I'm just going to use the piece that I cut out of the middle earlier and just try and go ahead and cut another piece out of it. I'm going to go ahead and tape this edge first, that way I can wrap this down the other side and get it cut off the other side. Alright, now I can go ahead and flip this around and we can get this side. Alrighty, we got it flipped around. So let's take a look and see right about where we need to cut it. You can go ahead and leave that flipped up for just a minute. Ended up having some technical difficulties. The camera ended up shutting down. But anyway, we're back. We got this set up on some sawhorses and added some pieces on the sides here because there was just still a little bit of plastic showing. So it should be all good, covered, and ready to start spraying on some adhesive. So for the directions, you have to make sure the surfaces are dry, free from contaminants and stuff. Shake hand before use. I've been shaking this for a couple minutes now. And then just spray 2 to 3 uniform overlapping coats and wait 5 minutes in between each coat. So that's what we're going to do. I should probably clean some of this up real quick. I'll clean that up and be right back. Alright, so I've went along, cleaned it up, flattened it out a little bit, and then took an air hose, blew some of the dirt and loose stuff out of it. So it should be ready to get some spray on it. So give this one more good shake and let's start spraying it a little bit. Try and keep this up here. I'm going to go ahead and leave it like that for now so I can get this part covered, or put this part together. And then we can go around and do the rest of it, because if I try and get this part, this is going to want to flip back onto this and it's not going to work right. So we're going to wait 5 minutes and go ahead and give this a couple more coats, lay this down, and we should be good to go for the rest of it. Alright, so I've got about 4 coats of the glue on this side, on both of these, so it should adhere pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and get a couple things to help stick it down in the corner. when we get there. So go ahead and peel this tape off here. There we go. It's not supposed to adhere to the tape there. Forgot I need to take the tape off first, actually. Howdy. Alrighty, so I got this area covered up again, so I'm not going to get any of the spray on the stuff I already put down, or at least not on the vinyl. So give this a good shake for a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and take 2 pieces of cardboard so I don't get my hands all sticky, and just try and spread it out like that as I go along. That's the plan anyway. Try and shoot some in the middle there. This part over here I'm going to wait on, because if I try to fold this back, it's going to try and force some of this back onto what I just sprayed, and I want to wait to get that pressed down. So gonna let this sit again for 5 minutes, and I'll go ahead and just spray it after I quit recording this, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to lay it down. Okay, so we got 3 or 4 coats on here, actually 4 coats. We've got 4 coats of adhesive on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and actually start taking the plastic off from this side. I'm going to start right about there's where I left off. And try and make a little crease right there, maybe. Just going to come along, try and kind of curl it and press it back in, just like we were doing on the edge on that piece. Okay, got this area taped off a little bit, and I'm trying to get this pulled back so it's a little easier to manage. There we go. Alrighty, so we got 4 coats on this edge again. So now, while I'm waiting for 5 more minutes to let it dry, so we can tack it down or lay it down, I'm just going to take the rest of this off because we're done with all this. So we can take all the tape and all the plastic off. So get our tools off. And we can just start going around and just peeling back all the tape. Alrighty, that's all good to go. So far it doesn't look too bad. Had a little bit of a hiccup right up here. I'll come around so you can see it a little better. Just kind of folded a little weird, that's where I started out. But otherwise not too bad. We'll go ahead and tack this down as well. Same time. I'm actually just going to get started on this part right here, and then it should be long enough for this to set. So just tuck that in there like that. Alright, there we go. Alrighty, so now that that's done, I'm just going to go around these corners here, or the edges, and just try and make sure it's just as solidified as possible. So as I'm doing this, I'm taking the thin end of this tool. It's plastic, so it's not going to hurt this. But I'm taking the thin end of this, keeping pressure against the black side, what I'm trying to adhere, and then just rounding that corner. And just going on, or staying on the black, and then just curving into it and pressing it against the side of the felt behind it, or the backing, and then just coming up and doing that over and over again around the whole thing. There we go. Looks much better. Now all that we really have to do with this is just let it sit for 24 hours and it should be good to go. So in the meantime, off camera, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this cleaned up and clean up a few things before we put it all back together. Again, we have the backing to put in here, the back plate. We also have the window switches, power switches, and the backing plate behind the handle here. Alrighty, so it's been 24 hours plus some. It's actually been a couple days since I've finished this, but it's all finished and it's ready to go on. And here are the pieces that also go on with it. So for the mirror control, window control, and some backing plates. So let's go ahead and get all this out to the car and we'll get started on putting it back together. Also, side note, unfortunately, while I was working on this, I accidentally knocked this off. It's supposed to go right there. Just a little reflector, but one of the clips is broken off of it, so I'll have to replace that later, but that's pretty easy. Just slide this little notch in here, and the other side clips down into that other little notch you can see right there. So pretty easy fix, but I'll have to work on that later. So let's get all this out to the car. Alrighty, so we got everything out here, including the door panel on all the extra parts that go on. So I was actually going to replace the door lock actuator, but it's kind of hidden in here and I have to take this entire plastic shield off. And as you can see here, it's glued on. And unfortunately in the winter weather, it's going to be hard to glue that back on without it being warm. So later on, I'll be taking the door panel back off and replacing the door lock actuator, and I'll probably make a video of that one too. So stay updated for that fix. Alright, so to start off, we need to reconnect all the connectors that we took off. So let's go ahead and get our speaker hooked up here. There we go. Go ahead and push that little pin the rest of the way down, just like that. And now our cable is reinstalled. Perfect. Now we go ahead and install the lock and unlock button switch here. There we go. And then we'll make sure this connector right here for the window switches sticks out of the hole right here, so we can easily reconnect it when we install the power window switches. Alright, now that we have these bottom hooks set where they need to be, this next part takes some definite maneuvering. There's a ridge right here. It's a seal that the door panel needs to go over. So starting on this side, let's try and lift it up to go over that seal, and then firmly press down, and then make sure it pops in the rest of the way to the other side. Give that a firm tap in here to make sure it's seated in properly. You can also run your fingers around the edge of the door panel to make sure it's not sticking out too far. You'll feel a gap just because we haven't secured it with the screws yet, but you shouldn't be able to stick your finger in to the gap anywhere along the edge, except for where this hinge is, which is where the mechanisms are. From there, we'll just grab our plunger or door lock plunger trim. Make sure the plunger is centered so it slides in that hole, and then just snap that piece down. Make sure to unlock your car so you don't lock yourself in. Next, we'll grab our power window switches. Get this connector that we pulled through the slot, connect it into the switches like so. Make sure it works. Helps if your car is on. Alright, car's on. Power window switch operates the door properly. So we're good to go. Now that we have this connected, we have one bolt to get in real quick, and it's really hard to see from here, and it's also hard to get to, so First, let's go ahead and pull this out. Just like that, it just snapped in. Pull it out all the way. And right here is where we need to put this bolt real quick. So go ahead and get in there, get it started by hand. So go ahead and come over here and grab our 7mm socket, as well as our bit adapter, and get it put on our screwdriver. We can come back down here. Alright, so now that we got that done, we can go ahead and take this trim piece and get the bottom clips in here, get those started. We can get the power window switches on here. Try and keep this panel in place where we put it. Once that's in place, just snap it down. And once that's done, snap this panel back into place. That all works. Alright, now that we have our door panel clipped back in place, we have 2 screws to put back in. We'll start with these 2 screws anyway. One behind the armrest and one behind the door handle. Go ahead and get our bolt slipped in there. And we can grab a screwdriver and get it started. And I did grab an electric screwdriver this time, so I can just hit it and tighten it right up. Make sure it's tight. Don't get too tight or it could strip it. Same thing up here. Alrighty, both of those are tight. Once we have that done, we can take these 2 trim pieces and slip them back in. So for this one, it's not too hard. These 2 little hooks down here go into those 2 little slots right there. So we'll just slip that down, and then we should be able to press this in. Right like that, solid. Now for the one behind the handle, pull the handle out just a little bit, get this in there. Line it up, and then just snap it in. There's 3 clips back there, but you can tell it's solid because it doesn't fall out. Alrighty, so now we can go ahead and get our 8 screws installed around the edge of the door panel here. Alrighty, finally the last piece of the puzzle, our mirror direction switch. Reconnect it and snap back in here. Our connector just snaps in here, right like that. And from there, make sure each pin lines up in there. Snap it back in like that. And our driver's door is redone. The vinyl is redone. Now let's move on to the other side. Alrighty, now that our driver's door is done, we still have our passenger side to do. But unlike our driver's side door, which took a while to finish, This one will only take a few seconds. Don't believe me? I'll show you. And looky there, it has been fixed. Don't mind the scenery change. But it is fixed, it is done. Hello folks, thank you so much for watching that tutorial on how to repair the vinyl on the Mustang door. It takes me a long time to edit these, for one, because I'm in college, and so college classes take quite a while, but just video editing in general takes quite a while. So right now I'm actually just finishing up editing everything, and it will be posted to YouTube in the next few hours, so I can show you that. So you can see here's the timeline right here of everything I've edited. So it does take quite a while. So thank you guys for being patient with me for getting these out. Hopefully I can get a few more out soon, but we'll see. So I'm hoping to make a few changes to it soon as well. I have an idea for a good intro. Also, like I told you, I was trying to do in-person voice, like talking while I'm doing the tutorial or whatever it is, instead of doing a voiceover, because I think it makes it more real. But you guys tell me what you like better, and also please give me some ideas. So I'm still pretty much starting out on YouTube, so if you guys have some ideas on what would work the best, please comment down below, and I'm always looking for comments. Comments are probably my favorite part of posting videos on YouTube. I like hearing what people have to say about it. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. God bless, and I will see you in the next video.